in that sense.
Mm-hmm. Self-contained.
I mean, we're in the plane of Earth. What's the worst he could do? Run into like some Earth elementals? Pretty sure it's fine.
Actually,
They
so
literally just like have like Earth move or whatever it's called. It's fine.
I did have a totally other, like, in-between scene planned, which was going to be you guys traversing across the plane of Earth on foot. And you guys decided to rig the skiff. I'm like, you know what? This is better. Change of plans. I do
Yes.
this a lot, by the way.
We not only got you to make a new map, but we got you to nuke an existing map. We love that.
I'm
That's what we're here
usually
for.
like 1 to 2 scenes ahead of the story, but more often than not, I either, like, because you guys do something way smarter that would skip a scene, like, generally in the realm of travel. Usually that in-between scene, I'm like, okay, I can just ditch that and then we do this instead. Which is totally fine. I actually enjoy when you guys surprise me.
She says through gritted teeth.
Luckily, I am decent enough at Photoshop that I can make it look like I planned this the whole time. Alright, everybody, get settled. Make sure you've got a drink, some snacks, and let's get started with a little recap. We will not have Wangdoodle here today, as he is traveling. So he will be our designated sand skiff driver for the next scene. But in the meantime, you've all traversed through Razadul's research vault. And aside from Razadul's various journal notes, you discovered a very confusing map that led underground with various twists and turns, the end of it leading to the mysterious furnaces on the edges of the plains of earth and fire, lie the Dow Run furnaces, where they take their ores that they have pulled from the plane of earth and infuse them with potent elemental energy. After Razadul Ironbane had made some terrible deals and unfortunately tainted furnaces with corruption from the Nine Hells, he has brought great disgrace upon his name and is now imprisoned in the city of Jewel. The Dow have been unable to reclaim the furnaces in their entirety, and now, due to what the Elder Peck has told you, you presume it is entirely overrun by minions from the Nine Hells. You not know what they are doing in the furnaces, but is most likely up to no good. The Elder Peck and his fellow Peck have beseeched you for your help. He has told you that many Pecks still lie in the furnaces, at the will of the Dow, but now at the will of the demons, and have asked for your aid in freeing them from whatever horrors beneath the grounds of the plane of Earth. As a thanks for saving the Peck from the ire of their Dow slaver, the Elder Peck has decided to join you on your trip on this sand skiff that you found in Razadul's research vault. With that, and the map in hand, the Peck will lead you to the entrance of the furnaces across the blistering deserts of the top side of the plane of Earth, and will lead you, with aid of the map, through the twisting tunnels, down directly into furnaces. Hopefully, you and the rest of the party will be able to clear out the furnaces from the corruption of the Nine Hells and restore honor to Razadul's name, or perhaps just to your own name. Your goal is to once again allow the Dow to smelt at the furnaces and trade their mystical elemental ingots within the city of Brass. It'll just be one part of this major undertaking. Right. Let us begin. As you leave the area of Razadul's former palace, the rest of the Dao do not bother you as the Elder Peck has summoned a sandstorm and has obfuscated the skiff as you ride off into the blistering heat. As you are entirely encased in metal, the interior of the sand skiff does get uncomfortably warm, but it is nothing compared to the blistering heat outdoors. Wangdoodle will be your designated driver for today, as you cruise across the sands. Kozla, you keep a wary eye on the Borean shards you have hooked up to that main power source through an access panel in the back of the ship. And besides the occasional flicker of power slowly draining, they hold strong. The Peck that has joined you has mostly begun to gaze out the side of the sand skiff that has windows towards the front of the ship. Looks out into the relatively barren sands. As for the rest of you, you have cleared out the golems that are on the interior of the ship, have lightened your load to allow the Borean shards to drain at a much slower pace. The Peck assures you that the skiff will reach the entrance of the furnaces armed, and if anything gets in your way, at least the front of the ship is readily equipped to handle any thickly carapaced sandworm that might get in your path. The hours pass, and many of you are tired and wounded from your trip into the research vault. And it might be a good time to rest, discuss your next moves, and recuperate. As the furnaces are presumably full of the demons from the Nine Hells, this might be your greatest trial yet. Thankfully, you don't have to walk across these blistering sands and encounter any of the more unfriendly denizens from the plane of Earth. The Elder Peck sighs, heavy, as he looks out the window to the north. The rest of you are free to do what you want, although the interior of the ship is rather barren. You may begin.
Do we spend at least a day traveling?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to reset my contingency spell to make sure it is Frosh.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you like? What would you like instead?
It's just the same one. It's cast Resilient Sphere if Rain would be downed by damage.
Okay.
Bubble Hearth.
Bubble Hearth. Very good.
Does that mean we're getting arrested?
That's why I was asking. Like, if we have at least a day, Rain can spend the time to also reset her contingency spell. If we only get like long rest, like 8 hours travel time, then that's not going to really work. But a full day gets us there.
It will. For the first few hours, however, is there anything in particular you would all like to do? Or would you like to spend your travel time just merely lying down on the metal parts of the uncomfortable metal parts of the ship, stare at the ceiling as you swelter in the heat?
I do anyway.
Agrabella, the heat does not bother you too much. Also, I just want to point out there's something fun hooked up on your character sheet now. If you click on yourself and you right-click the dragon wings debuff or buff that's shown on the top right hand corner of your screen. You right click it and click enable. It has a pretty cool effect now.
Whoa!
Heck yeah.
You can toggle it on and off by just that. And that way I will know visually that you have dragon wings activated.
Yeah, no, that helps. I think both of us. Honestly.
And I believe it is fixed so it will not be doubling your speed. Visual speed. Otherwise, an hour has passed in the sand skiff. What do you all do?
I will offer something if anybody has interest in doing this since we have travel time. Would anybody like to dream visit with whoever the leader of whoever that person is that you all banished here to the plane of Earth? Does anybody want to have a conversation with her? That was sort of one of the aside things we could do potentially, and negotiate some way to bring her back to the Prime Material in exchange for not murdering everybody. We don't have to. I'm just proposing.
I don't
Are
remember
you
who we're talking
speaking
about
of
genuinely.
Sita Shardheart or the
Sure, that one. Rain doesn't know this person.
or are you talking
didn't
about the person that you encountered in the vault of Akaris?
I was talking about the first one, although the second one is an interesting idea as well. I don't know if she would be in the plane of Earth or not. But Sita is the one you guys banished back to the plane of Earth, right? She's trapped here
Grabella
now.
just wants to kill her.
Oh.
That's not going to be a conversation if it's Grabella. It's going to be I would like to put my weapon into her throat. She did literally try to rip her girlfriend apart with magic.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
so you're abstaining from your ambassadorial responsibilities this time, is what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Literally the first and only time.
The ambassador of murder.
Well, then. I mean, we could also
she's
just...
an evil piece of crap, and her head
could also
should not
just-
be on her body.
We could also just torment her with nightmares. That's actually an option.
I like to torment her with this hook.
Okay, so I'm going to say maybe put a pin in that one. We'll be here for a little bit. We can figure it out later, I suppose. But we do probably have to have a conversation with her at some point that does not strictly involve murder. At least not immediate murder.
About what?
About negotiating some kind of peace between Vicaris and those other people. The Earth Ganassi, the Magmarans. Those folks. I always want to think that they're something more earthy, but they're just more fire. It's just fire all the way down. Because she's still the leader of the Magmarans. Unless our plan is full regime change, overthrowing. Also, Sea Swap, somebody help me, yeah?
The Magmarans. Paya?
We're firing on all cylinders today.
Right. It was more of a... Does anybody have any thoughts? We did come here to negotiate some kind of ceasefire. That's why we're here. And now we're gallivanting off to just reclaim this furnace thing, which is a cool idea, but that doesn't keep the plane of Earth from murdering everybody in Maginox that we love in the meantime.
Rain does bring up a good point. The Magmarans have been cut off from their magic due to Novus, and now that Vacaris is, well, essentially no more, does not have protections from Novus, the Magmarans have essentially taken over the city, and the rest of the Vacarans are now in Maginox. You have forgotten Sita Shardheart was the leader of the Magmarans who led the charge against Vacaris. They were spiteful for having their magical ley lines burned away by the elemental locust. And now Azrael sits in Novus's place. And things are a little bit weird in the transition. Now you have banished Sita back to the plane of Earth. And the last time you saw her was in a memory. In fact, one of Rabella's memories from the Great Ice Library, as a very young Sita was there when Razadul Ironvein granted his daughter Twisted Wish.
Wasn't Sita like a lieutenant though? Or am I misremembering? This was long enough ago that it's all very fuzzy for me.
She was in the self-proclaimed elemental general of the Magmarans. You haven't really looked into Magmaran society enough to know if she is their penultimate leader, but she is most certainly the leader of their armies.
I think when we ran into people in the vault to get the Obliteratus, they had suggested that the Magmarans were in a kind of holding pattern because she was banished and they didn't know what to do, but that might have been just militarily speaking.
At least you do know, because there have been so many Vacarans displaced, that the Magmarans have begun to move, whether Sita is there or not. In most militaristic societies, there is a chain of command. But without Sita at the forefront, they might be a little bit slower to act. Though they have still rampaged over Vacaris, and have proven themselves to be danger. Now, Sita is here, somewhere, on the plane of Earth. And she is connected to the Tao Society somehow. But that was very, very much in the past, when Grabella was a wee bab, and Vacaris, Narcissa, and Garnisha were a trio of adventurers.
So,
sorry. You do not know how many lifetimes Grabella has experienced since then.
The loose proposal here is we could potentially offer Sita passage back to Arctis from the plane of Earth. That's something that we could offer her since she's currently trapped here. But under the negotiate that passage back for a ceasefire.
That is a good idea. That is potentially taking care of, two birds with one stone.
But tis.
Bleh.
But if you guys don't like that plan, we don't have to do it. I was just throwing it out there. I don't have beef with this lady. I've never met her, so.
Well, Rain, you might have beef with her if a Magmaran army starts coming out of the ground in order to make a run on Maginox.
Well, right. I don't have beef with her yet. I don't have personal beef with her yet.
Yet.
It sounds like nobody is really excited or interested in this line of thought, so we can move on. It's fine.
No, sorry, I'm just trying to brain. I feel like Sita is a step 4 or 5 on the process, and we're currently on like step 2. And we will have a better understanding of how to approach that step once we barely have the lay of the land currently. We know there's Tau everywhere. Tau is kind of the more pressing threat. And so part of the reason that we're going to the furnaces is to try to get the Tau to chill the fuck out and kind of get them on our side. This is also why I'm like wondering where exactly Sita fits in the overall hierarchy, because I would be surprised if she commanded the Tau based on what we've learned so far.
Well, the Tau are kind of entirely unrelated to all of this. Like, the only reason we sort of care about the Tau at all is because of Grabella. And I'm not even convinced that we actually care about them because of Grabella, because Grabella doesn't seem like she cares about them. At least that's Rain's take so far. Like, the Tau are just here. We're in the plane of Earth for reasons, hoping to find some kind of solution. Sita is one potential solution because she's actually tied to the Magmarans. The Tau aren't necessarily. They're just a separate race that is loosely affiliated with the Magmarans. But, like, they're on totally different planes of existence. So we could totally do this Tau thing with the furnace, and maybe the Tau can strong arm Sita and or the Magmaran as their elemental progeny in Arctis to maybe do what we want. That's an option. But I feel like they're just two entirely unrelated things unless we make them related.
Yeah, here's a few things that you do know about the Tau. You know that Tau are technically elementals. They're very commonly known as genies, part of the quad of genies, the Afridi, the Tau. There was a whole lore snippet on this. At least the 4 flavors of genies. You do know that Sita is not a Tau, but she is an elemental. And she is native to the plane of Earth. You also do know, thanks to Grabella's memory of the wish ceremony, that Sita was a guard in the Tau's palace. So presumably she works for the Tau in a militaristic fashion, but is not Tau herself. So that is really the loose relation. Tau have either employed or enslaved her, which the Tau are quite wont to do. So without knowing Sita's exact relationship to the Tau, whether that is friendly or not, unsure.
Right. So my thought, here's kind of where my brain is at on this whole thing at this point. My throat is kind of fucky today, which is why I'm not doing all this in the Cosmo voice. But it seems like we know of at least a couple of different factions in the plane of Earth. There isn't like a king of the plane of Earth that rules literally everything and everyone follows this person. There are multiple groups. So to make a political angle, we need to figure out what's going on with those multiple groups and figure out which ones we can get on our side or which ones we can pit against each other in ways that would be beneficial.
Yes. The critical distinction I think that I'm making from Rain's perspective is that the Magmarans are not on the plane of Earth. They are specifically not. They are not a plane of Earth faction. They are potentially loosely affiliated with some people here. But they're actually, I think we know that they're mostly cut off from the plane of Earth. That's kind of their whole shtick. They don't have their magic because of the ley lines and everything. So they're actually kind of cut off. So politically, we're concerned about the Magmarans, and that relates to this whole area. The things Rain is specifically offering is basically to use the dream spell to actually just have a conversation with Sita, because we're on the same plane as her now. We could just infiltrate her dreams and have a conversation, if that's something that you guys wanted to do, to like maybe learn a little bit more about the lay of land, or maybe
We're gonna
see if
her?
there's what?
Inception her?
Yeah, Yes, that's part of the dream spell. We could do that. That's cool. But we also don't have to do that. We don't have to do that right now. We can just focus on the furnace. That's also fine, and we could potentially do that later. But like whatever we do, we probably have to reckon with her in some capacity.
Yeah.
Whether it's now or later. And right now it's probably mostly fact-finding just to better understand her, because she was just a boss effectively before. Like, we really don't know anything more about her than that.
And you do know that Grabella's grandfather, Wangdoodle, has essentially sullied his name amongst the Tao due to the furnace. So, I suppose strong-arming Sita, who works for the Tao or the Great Khan, may not be as effective. At least at this point in time. You have a lot of leverage with her or them. A lot of the things that Sita wants. She essentially wants the ley lines returned to Magmara, so they do not have to rely on blood men in order to survive or persist as a deep underground species. If there was a way that you could secure the restoration of the ley lines, he would most likely be more willing to work with you.
Assuming that we actually do want to work with her and not, like, depose her somehow.
Correct.
Because it will be a hard sell for Grabella especially, being like, hey, remember this woman that tried to literally rip your girlfriend apart in front of you? Yeah, she's on our side now.
Out of character, though, it's not like Grabella hasn't killed her girlfriend before. Ooh.
Oh!
To save her and her people.
Well,
Details.
Now you have common ground with Sita.
Yeah, there you go. Remember this one time I tried to kill this girl, and then I actually did kill her?
Yeah.
Now that is a choice that you'll have to make. Is it worth killing Sita and potentially angering the Magmarans even further? Or will killing Sita also affect your standing now? Also, you do know that some Tao, including Wangdoodle, do have the capacity to grant wishes, but they can only grant wishes to mortals. They cannot grant it to their fellow elementals, Tao. Only things with a soul, and the connotations of that are worrisome, to say the least. Honestly, for some of you, namely C-Swab, making wishes or pacts with extra-planar entities really comes out very well. Although it might be an option, you could just simply wish the ley lines back in place. But at what cost? I mean, looking
Well,
at
we know how to fix the ley lines already. It's just like step 5.
yeah.
We have 2 artificers. We could just artifice the ley lines back into shape. It might be a little
How many feet of fiber optic cable do you have in your bag right now, Kyle? Well, let's just go plug this shit back together.
Just stick one end in the
plug it
plane
in.
of Earth and stick the other end through the portal.
Look,
We're just gonna lay fiber lines to Magmara. That's what
Never
we're gonna
go
do. We're
into
gonna bring
wagering
fiber.
with a Kenku when backstabbing is on the line.
I used to have cable internet, and I know that most problems can be solved by having a new drop put in. I don't know what that means, but if we just put in a new drop on the ley lines, that should do it.
Yeah.
And you do know the origins of the ley lines as well. They come from the world trees. the roots of the world trees. So either the Magmarans are going to have to wait an awful long time for those to come back, or the world trees aren't really going to proliferate due to the presence of the slow. And that was an entire other chapter, Arctis Universe. One that Rain has experienced. It involved a fairy from Auralia and his strange court of elves.
We do have a sapling world tree, actually, in the Dreaming Tower, just sitting there.
Ew.
Sai just abandoned it, or Bonsai just abandoned it. Fucking ass.
For a potential peace offering, perhaps.
Okay, so let's maybe put a pause on. I'm just saying, like, we can, whenever we want to or already, we can reach out to Sita via dreams. That's an option on the table. If we want, we could talk to Wangdoodle. Just, we've read all of his notes. I feel like we know the guy really well, but just hear how sorry he is for all the horrible things he's done from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Will you sign my notes I found of yous?
Or we can all just stare at these walls as Wangdoodle drunkenly drives us across the desert. Speaking of which, while this is all happening, Rain will go ahead and scribe this scroll.
What do you scribe?
The one we just got, this stone fetch scroll.
Okay.
I don't fully understand scrolls. So, like, I have a scroll, so does that mean I can just cast it one time, or do I learn it? I don't
So
understand.
sorcerers and wizards work differently. Sorcerers, your magic comes from you. You were born with magic. You are magic. It is Maybelline. You can read a scroll, one-time use, and the scroll will disappear, and you cast the spell. Wizards can pay a monetary fee, and with a bunch of regents, scribe that scroll permanently into their spell book and learn it. You cannot do that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, anybody
So
can cast a scroll like
I
as a
can
one-time
cast
use
it.
thing.
I can cast it one time as like an action on my
Yeah.
turn.
Correct.
Yep,
Okay.
as if
alright.
you knew the spell and then it's gone.
And Rain can actually do the same thing if she chooses to cast it, but she wouldn't be able to describe it later, because once you read the words off a scroll, they disappear.
Rain can also technically make scrolls of any spells that she knows in her spell book, but we don't really... Nobody has asked for that, so we don't really, like, explore it, but it just costs money, too.
Yep, money and time.
And time. But if that is something that you would be interested in, to have more scrolls or something to cast, like, if you like a spell that Rain knows, just let me know. We can explore that.
I think I only got one scroll, and it's... I mean, it's fun. I might fuck around with it later now that I know that's how it works. I've had it for so long.
Yeah, entirely up to you.
Okay. I went ahead and spent the gold, I think. Because it's what? It's 4th level? Yeah, okay.
Okay, once you have spent the gold, I will put the spell into your spell book here. What is the name of the spell?
It's the one we just found, that stone fetch.
Alright, and I will delete that out of your inventory.
Zah.
Spell scroll, stone fetch.
4 hours. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Rain, so you're gonna spend 4 hours scribing stone fetch into your spellbook?
Yep. Which pairs nicely with 4 hours resting.
Let's talk about the loot that you found in Wangdoodle's research vault, including a very valuable ion stone. This stone will permanently raise your wisdom by 2. Who currently has it?
It is currently in Rain's bag because nobody seemed to have or want the attunement with it. But
Yeah.
if anybody wants to ponder it now,
Ponder the stone.
I don't
Yes.
have a 2-minute slot where I would consider it, but
yeah. Also, like nobody is like wisdom focused, so it's kind of a tough sell. I get that for an attunement slot at this point.
yeah. For me, it would just be bringing me back up to not even where any of you all are, so I might as well just rely on you all instead.
I think the only people who have a bevy of attunement slots are the artificers.
Yeah, we have to
Wangdoodle
use
attuned
those.
the shield.
Yeah, we have a bunch of attunement slots, but it's because we have to use them for half of our class features.
Oh right.
Yep.
Because you're attuned to a bunch of your specialty things. Yeah. I get it.
So we basically get extra attunement slots to make up for how our class works.
Yeah. Well, it's a
So it
powerful
could be
thing.
the sort of thing that like I could hang on to it in the event that I just need to be extra wise in advance for a while for some reason. But I wouldn't like normally. It would be the sort of thing that Kozlo would put on if he knew he was about to go into a like important business meeting, but otherwise leave it alone.
Some very good insight checks.
Yeah.
It could be really good trade fodder later too for something if we find something
Yeah.
cool. Like, it's worth a lot. So is that manual of golems we also grabbed, which Rain already gave one of those to Wangdoodle, so got some good trade fodder for later potentially.
Yeah. I think Grabella's just gonna take a long rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a long rest for sure. If that's the option.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need a rest as well. I am at 0 of any spell slot.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
All right, for those of you exhausted from your efforts, please take this moment in the sweltering heat. Take a long rest.
Well, this is cool. It shows you everything you get back.
Yeah. Little thing.
I don't
Kozlo,
know
are
much.
you also able to long rest?
Yes.
Any particular
Knocking shit
spell-
over on my desk.
I was gonna say, is that you or the cats?
Yeah, it's me knocking shit over on my desk.
Well,
Any particular spell requests while we're prepping spells for this horrible dungeon crawl that we're about to go into?
I do not know.
Well, they're demons, right? So, what do you got to deal with that?
Probably, I'm going to guess things like radiant damage are probably helpful. They probably don't care so much for fire damage if they're demons living in literally some place called the furnace. Does anybody know how to banish things?
Not so much.
Doesn't banishment
I have
only
a-
banish things to their plane of existence?
I have some treacherous and some poison.
Oh, they probably don't care so much about poison, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
Banishment-
is lying to us.
If they're not on their native plane, it will banish them back to their native plane permanently. If they are on their native plane, it will banish them to a random plane for the duration of the spell.
Okay, okay. Random
So-
plane.
Yeah. like, Rain doesn't actually have banishment. It's a spell I've been meaning to pick up, but I think we always forget when we're actually around a place that we can do that. And I do have plane shift, though. It's a very expensive version of that, and it's just permanent in any direction I want. When used offensively. Grabella, are you planning on abandoning us for any stretch of time while we're in the furnace and thus forcing us to use our muscles? Because if so, I might prepare telekinesis so I can use my brain as a muscle.
I don't think so.
Okay.
What's Grabella thinking about? As she rests for 4 hours, and spends the other 4 lying on the metal grates of her grandfather's sand skiff, staring at the ceiling. I want to get an idea of what's going through Grabella's mind.
Mostly that. She was brought here to help make everything better, and now she just makes everything worse, so she doesn't feel useful.
Why does Grabella think that she's made everything worse?
Because literally, if anybody sees her face, that's gonna be a whole thing.
True. Not necessarily Grabella's fault.
For sure, but that's not how she's been told everybody else thinks, so.
What kind of answers is Grabella looking for out of the plane of Earth?
I don't know. I think the only thing she can think of is breaking her mother's wish.
How would she do that?
No idea. But everything about her path that she has zero knowledge of seems to be a problem, so... And she's doesn't feel like living this continuous cycle that she didn't ask to be in. Otherwise, she kind of hates being here. Everything is awful.
Everything is awful. Sea Swab, how do you feel about being on this elemental plane that is so devoid of water?
I mean, I feel different now that I have these cool boots that Wangdoodle made me so I don't get seasick. So... I guess I'd say I'm indifferent.
If Sea Swab had the chance to make a wish, would he take it?
If you're asking me now,
Yeah.
I would say no, but circumstances can change between now and then to where he could want to wish.
What would have to change in order for Sea Swab to make a wish? Would it be desperate?
I would say probably desperation. Maybe if somebody in the party was dying, aka probably himself. maybe the enemy decided to just bash Sea Swab's skull in the most out of everybody.
Classic.
For some strange reason, just bypassing other people to go hit him.
Mm-hmm.
That would never happen repeatedly in most sessions.
Yeah, weird.
Crazy. I feel like Sea Swab is more of a... He's more of the... what's the word I'm looking for right now? Sea Swab would be more even-headed to assess the circumstances of the situation before just like rushing in to like blindly make a huge decision like that. Like he would assess everything he had in front of him and then make a determination of what was the best thing.
So when you saw Grabella's memory of Narcissa, Vicaris, and Carnicia, each presented with the option to make a wish, 2 of them took it. Narcissa did not. How does C-Swab feel about that? Because, as you know, the 2 wishes that you did see go off have had very unforeseen consequences. One, Grabella has no memory. All of these bad things that have happened in the vortex of her existence are not necessarily because of her, but she just doesn't remember her involvement in them. And 2, the other one, Vicaris, he got into a very bum deal with Novus, which essentially required him to pledge all of the Vicarans in service of this elemental lord. So the 2 wishes have definitely been kind of bum deals. Narcissa just straight up refused. Does C-Swab feel kind of similarly to Narcissa, that wishes are just too much of a hassle to take? Or are they too dangerous?
C-Swab definitely have to. He would feel the wishes are too dangerous because there's too many. There's too many unforeseen like butterfly effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And C-Swab would be more aware of the fact that like he would equate it to like, you know, like an ocean wave of like the wave starts and you don't think it's anything, and then it builds up momentum, and then eventually it causes just too much destruction. So he'd be more cautious. I feel C-Swab would be hesitant to take a wish unless it was like there were no other options that he could see.
Mm.
So he'd be like, okay, if we're in a situation right now and the wish is like the only way out, you take it and deal with you deal with the consequences later. But if we're in a position where the cost doesn't outweigh it, he'd be more hesitant to do it.
See. Grabella, if you had the option for yourself to take a wish, end your cycle of rebirth, would you take it? Is Grabella AFK?
No, I was just muted because I'm sick.
sorry.
I said yes.
Oh, she would take it.
She feels like at this point it was a really weird, selfish request where she's being forced to protect people that aren't even around or fix things that other people should be given a chance to fix. That they've put all of this weight on her shoulder and then none of the tools to be adept for it.
Does Grabella feel burdened by the fact that
Yes.
whenever Arctis is in danger, she's summoned back into play?
Yes. It means she doesn't get her own life or her own options.
Oslo, what about you? As
Yeah.
you sit in this sweltering skiff, all this talk of genies and wishes. Kozlo was presented with the option of taking a wish. Would he take it, knowing the potential consequences?
Consequences isn't exactly something Kozlo worries about.
True.
He would take it and he would do his best to make it something that doesn't backfire, but he would almost certainly take a wish should he have the like. How do you turn that down? The potential of it is so high, as far as Kozlo is concerned, at least.
What kind of things would Kozlo wish for?
That would be the harder question, honestly. That would be what Kozlo would have to sit and think about. It would either depend on some like ultimately very temporary thing that just happens to be whatever is most pressing on his mind at the moment. Like, did a party member die recently or something? And you'd be like, okay, yeah, bring them back. Or some other bad occurrence has gone on. Or, you know, generic, like, probably something related to the overall Greenfinger? Trying to use James Bond now.
I love gold!
Overall, Greenfinger legacy / success, because he does feel like he kind of has to be the head of the clan in a sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's fine with because he's an attention whore and he gets lots of attention that way. But
That's
one of those general, yeah, this is a thing I got to deal with now.
is burdensome, potentially, to be the most accomplished of your tribe, even succeeding your own father, who's currently being slurped on by mosquitoes in Buckhome.
Delicious.
I mean, getting slurped on the way you say that doesn't make it sound bad.
The by mosquitoes part definitely brings it down a couple notches.
Okay, he's just covered from head to toe in mosquitoes and leeches. Fine. Gotta suck out the bad. Alright. It's good for me to get kind of an idea of everybody's headspace. What about Rain? Rain, if you were faced with the opportunity of making a wish, making your heart's desire come true, seeing in person what these long-term effects of the wish have been, would Rain take a wish?
No, Rain grew up in Fae society. You don't take a wish from somebody else. That's like making a fucking Fae bargain. You don't fucking do that. That's dumb. That's how you grow extra heads.
But you could do so much with an extra head.
Yeah, no.
There's a literal phrase about that.
For some reason, to me, this is Christina. It's like the American Psycho where like they're showing the business cards. She's like, let's see Kozlo's wish.
Let's see Kozlo.
Yeah. No, like when Rain knows how to do wish herself, she's still not going to actually use it to make wishes. It's to use it to duplicate other spell effects. You don't fucking bargain with the forces of the universe. No, you tell them exactly what you want, very specifically.
Very
Crazy.
interesting. Very interesting answers from the group, especially for Kozlo, because Kozlo and Grabella would take the opportunity for a wish.
I also feel like Kozlo is someone who doesn't fully understand the risks, I think. And he probably just would not. Like, I don't know that he's capable of comprehending the risks.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I like hearing your character's thought process, especially when faced with potential very high-powered abilities that can alter your character's fate wherever you want to take them.
Okay, hold on. Now that I'm thinking about it, would C-Swab know in this current time that he could be granted a wish? He knows right now for sure he would get one?
No, he does not. He knows that Wangdoodle has granted wishes before, but Wangdoodle has no reason to grant you specifically at this time a wish.
Okay. If C-Swab did know that information, he would definitely be like, he would spend all of his waking time phrasing a question that'd be uncorruptible, in the sense that like he would phrase it in a way to where in his mind nothing would backfire in it, and it'd have no unforeseen consequences because of the way it was worded. He'd go full lawyer talk into it.
C-Swab, after a moment you fumble in your pockets for one of the scrolls and reread the wishes for dummies lore snippet that you have received. And knowing that wishes have rules, not entirely all-powerful cosmic things. It is will brought into existence, generally from a place that it has already existed from. But they can't change the past, cannot undo the effects of the past in the present. A war can't be undone, but someone slain in battle can be returned to life. Can't affect station or status since it's abstract, but can give the appearance of affluency and wealth. Can't change true feelings. Can't grant additional wishes. And it only grants a singular action or condition, not the run-on sentence in order to make various conditions that tie into that tie loosely together. And that the genies cannot grant wishes to one who is not native to the prime material plane. It's a very monkey's paw. You might get your desires, but they might manifest in very different and strange ways.
Yes, he's probably definitely like keep looking at the thing and like basically like he'd be in his free time he'd be scribbling ways to ask for the wish that to him would be like there would be no way to like it would get what he would want and there'd be no way for it to like backfire.
Be very interested in reading what C. Swab's legal scribbles would look like.
Like C-Swab would be the kind of guy where he'd be sitting like on the skiff, he would look at the sheet that says like no, like you can't wish for multiple wishes. So he'd be like, okay, is there a way where I can make what I'm currently wishing for not count as the wish? Like he'd be doing shit like that, but then he'd be like, okay, if I can't do that, so I ignore that rule as just, all right, whatever, that wish isn't going to count. And then I'd be like, okay, can't change how like your station in life. So he'd be like, okay, and he'd be coming up with ways to like, not necessarily that's what he wants, but he'd be like, all right, how can I make sure that like this rule doesn't backfire on me?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd be like, okay, so like obviously first thing would be like, what would he want to wish for? Which I don't know what he would want to wish for at this current moment. But like he'd be like, okay, if this is what I want, and I say I wish for XYZ, what would be the ways that would backfire? Like what would be like the cascading effects? And he would just be having like little like flow charts and like pro and con lists. He'd come back to it. He wouldn't obsess over it. He'd just come back to it.
Your flowchart would end up being quite long. It seems like every contingency when you refer to the wishes for dummies as well and cross-reference, there's always a way that something can get twisted. Your wish for wealth usually comes from another source. If you wish for power, in the case of Icarus, that came from a different source as well. It came from Novus. Wangdoodle just gave him the knowledge and the opportunity, which he also possibly could have done even outside of the knowledge. I personally would be very interested in your reading your scribblings on what is a contract that is binding and foolproof. I think out of all of the party members, you would be the best one to formulate that. You would be very, very good at the fine print.
Is there a situation in which like maybe we're all shooting the shit talking about it and somebody else goes, oh, I would wish for this, and then C-Swab would maybe spend more time trying to craft the way they should word the wish, and I would just like write it down, like hand it to them, so like in the event we get there, it's like, you know, like Grabella wishes for whatever she wishes for, and I go, okay, Grabella, read this as your wish. Like you have to read it exactly as I wrote it.
I that is something you can absolutely do right now, though Grabella might look a little sullen and distracted as she ponders if her wish will be that she counteracts her mother's wish and no longer returns to life once she has died. That monkey's paw could curl pretty tightly, considering Grabella is technically already dead.
Well, then I have work to do.
In fact, you can absolutely broach it with the party right now. You have some time during our little travel sequence.
Interesting. We don't know that we're getting wishes, right? So it's like I wouldn't devote a large amount of time for something I don't know if is going to happen or not. Because who knows? We could also kill him.
You could also die in the furnaces.
I mean, knowing you, that's also a high possibility. 50-50, right?
50-50. Now, if you do succeed in the furnaces, and the Great Khan is thankful for your work, there is that possibility that, hey, he could grant you a wish. He's more powerful than Razadul. I feel that is a totally valid conversation to broach with your friends here. In fact, feel free.
Corbella, what would you wish for if we get wishes?
To finish my life and not live another. Like finish a normal lifetime and then of this current life and then be done.
Okay.
At one thing does immediately jump to your mind, that Grabella is not living currently. That monkey's paw could curl as in her wish is granted and she ceases to.
See, so I'm definitely gonna have that thought of like, I mean, not living, cease to exist. Do you want your conscious to remain after your life is over?
No.
Consciousness. Okay. See, so I was just to start writing down, like, he would write down things of like return to life, but not be any more or less susceptible to like disease, like shit like that. Like he's like taking notes of like, all right, because like make her alive, but then make her like, you know, get a horrible disease would be something a genie would do that's really shitty, or like, you know, oh, you come back to life, but like you're crippled from the fact that your body was once alive for hundreds of years in wars, so your body feels the effects of those things after the fact. Like, he'd be thinking of shit like that, where he'd be like, alright, gotta figure out a way to word this to where, like, nothing from the previous life, except for maybe memories, would be admissible as side effects.
Yeah. As you broach the topic with Grabella, it seems like a very sensitive one, very serious one. One that is close to her heart simply because she does not have control over this. She loses something each time she returns. The hours begin to pass. The heat inside of the skiff is at a almost intolerable level for most of you, though Grabella is not bothered by it at all. 4 hours pass. Rain, you scribe your spell book. rest of you who are taking a long rest toss and turn and sweat buckets that immediately evaporates on the metal plates of the skiff underneath your body. Grabella is seemingly unfazed, gazes out the window. Left. She has been eerily quiet for most of the trip, concerningly so. Wangdoodle and the Elder Peck exchange a few words in the bow of the ship as Wangdoodle, under the guidance of the Elder Peck Stonemaster, direct you towards the area of the furnaces. He gives you an approximation. You have about 6 more hours of solid skiff travel. And he guides you around the more dangerous areas of the plane of Earth, and assures you that you can all rest, but doesn't understand why some of you are leaking water. Weird. Is there anything else that you all would like to do? You have about 6 hours. Rain, do you want to put into action your plan of talking to Sita in the dream? Or do you let it go for now?
No. We'll leave it alone.
Is the wishes for dummies the only information that C-Swab would have access to about genies and wishing?
You have all of Razadul's notes, everything in your journal. If you click on the little journal,
I'm reading the wishes for dummies right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like making sure that.
You have genies and elemental menace, and you have all of those chapters: the Tao, the Afridi, the Jinn, and the Merits. You have wishes for dummies, and then you have all of Razadul's notes. Razadul doesn't touch on wishes at all in his personal notes. It's mostly about how iron cannot hold a soul permanently, and the soul is tormented as it is forcefully pained temporarily with iron.
I guess I'm trying to think of ways, obviously, to like hustle the hustler in a way, right? Like obviously the genie's going to try to hustle me for my wish, and I want to be the one to do that to do that first. So like there's some abstract concepts that C-Swab will be playing with in his head that he would like to get clarification on, and if this is all he has to go off of, he'd be struggling to find out. He'd be looking for more answers.
I think those abstract questions are good to ask your party. Maybe they have an opinion on.
Oh, like Rain, who deals with fate.
And I might give them more information depending on
Okay.
Arcana checks.
If you wished for a genie to always follow your commands, would that, in essence, allow you to use the genie's wish-granting powers infinitely?
Are you asking me that question?
He's asking the party. He's just speaking.
Oh.
He's just speaking thoughts aloud, but also looking at Rain.
Just asking the party stares directly at Rain.
I'm going to
Like-
go with.
C-Swab hits Arctis weed. You think a genie? If you just told a genie that he has to listen to you forever, that would be like you have infinite wishes?
I have a feeling on this, but I don't know what Rain knows or not.
Rain, make me an Arcana check. Extremely high DC.
About that.
Rain has been
Oh.
studying
Oh my God.
wishes. She has notes in her book about wishes already.
Wishes. Rain, you're more familiar with wishes in regards to the Fae as opposed to with regards to the Tao. The Tao seem to use them to either entertain themselves or to put the wisher into a bad state. They are very, very evil when it comes to granting wishes. They do so with great reluctance. In fact, due to some of the notes that you have found, it seems like most genies are very reluctant to grant them because it is seen as a sign of weakness. It means that they have done something to put themselves in a position where they are either subservient or they owe someone who they usually see as lesser a favor. This is somewhat, I wouldn't say, there are parallels to Fae who grant mortals' heart's desires. There's definitely some very, very strong parallel. And much like the Tao, the Fae tend to use it in mischievous ways. But the Fae are directly powered by and feed off of the emotions of mortals, the emotions and imagination. So granting their heart's desire also tends to fuel or feed the Fae in a way, as opposed to the Tao, who don't really gain anything granting. The Fae's heart's desire, if a wish is granted by a Fae, usually is pulled from the dreaming, where a mortal's heart's desire is manifest. And the dreaming is supposed to be as such. It is supposed to give mortals hope, gives mortals fear. It instills in them the very base emotions that make them mortal.
So if I were to paraphrase... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say the Tao do not pull their wishes from the dreaming, and merely pull it as a tool for their own future use, or to tug at the strings of fate, which is much, much more.
So if I were to paraphrase for C-Swab, well, a fairy deal in, I guess, a genie wish or similar in outcome. But I think the major difference here is the genies only kind of do it as a last resort and do it for their own positioning. Like, they didn't want to do it. Fairies are a little different, though, I suppose, in that it's kind of, well, fairies are predators, you understand. They devour mortals. So it's in different ways. It's kind of like a thing that they do to eat, metaphysically speaking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The net outcome, though, is, yes, whatever, like, be careful what you wish for, because almost certainly the outcome is dire for you. There's also some, like, artistry involved with Fae. The more disastrous, but, like, unexpectedly disastrous they can make it, it's like extra points. Extra tasty. Much nom nom. So to answer your specific question, I would imagine that a genie who you had forced to serve you, I suppose, at least so far as their power allows them to, would continue to grant your wishes as you requested them. However, at some point they are going to have that entire wish castle you build yourself fall upon you, and then probably stand atop the rubble at the end. They'll do everything in their power to bring about your ruin because you are, well, imposing your will on them.
Okay. So Cecil's gonna scribble down like possible deathly revenge. Just like in like the little margin there of like possible death revenge.
In at least the case in Wangdoodle, as you have seen in his notes, because genies cannot grant wishes to themselves, Wangdoodle has seeded his bloodline in various mortals, and then have had part mortal progeny return, and then he can grant a wish that is ultimately self-serving, and that is exactly what he did in the case of Grabella.
What an enormous dick.
Yes.
Just
He
a
created
gigantic
specifically
phallus.
mortal progeny for them to potentially beseech him later for wishes that would ultimately fuel his own desires or his final design.
And here's the neat bit: when Grabella ultimately murders him, it's gonna be a perfect Faustian bargain at the end of the day. For him.
For him.
He fucked himself with his own wishes. Won't that be grand?
Oh.
Honestly, just to see that comeuppance, I kind of am leaning more towards like we should just murder this guy.
I mean, what if we just wish? What if one of us just wishes to change the rules to how we see fit?
I'm sorry, what? What rules?
The rules that genies have to follow.
Do you know all the rules that genies have to follow?
No, but we can say we're start over from scratch.
Okay.
That sounds dangerous.
And I mean, sure, I guess we are going to go meet a whole bunch of devils soon in a furnace. I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to practice your deal-making chops with all the devils, because
Listen,
that's all
I'm
kind
in the
of the same thing.
brainstorming phase right now. I'm not saying that that's the wish. I'm just simply saying if we can change the rules of wishes by using one wish to change those rules, it would benefit us in a better way, possibly.
Hey.
Or bring us all to certain death. I'm just spitballing here, Rain.
Well, I would say there's one thing you maybe aren't making a note of that maybe you should, and while you're doing all of your calculus, is while there is the temperament of the entity granting you the wish to consider, and their proclivity to give you what you're actually looking for, fuck you over, there's also another thing that you kind of have to keep in mind. With wishes, even fairy deals, you are, at least to some degree, fundamentally altering reality. And reality doesn't really like being fucked with over much. It has a tendency to kind of snap back into place. It's hard to move. So,
Oh, like when the wild magic snapped my face in half in the halls?
actually, it's a very good example, Seaswab. I wasn't around for that. How did you... What happened to your face? Like, it seems whole now.
Yeah, because of magic.
Oh, well, okay. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so you try to bend reality a little bit too much, and it's gonna kind of, well, it's gonna snap back into some kind of a shape, and it might not be a shape that you like. And that's just physics. Metaphysics,
Sure,
I suppose.
sure, but the very nature of a genie wish, for the most part, is to have a mortal bend reality and have it snap back in their face anyway. I'm simply trying to make it to where when I bend the bar of reality back, it slaps the genie in the face as opposed to slapping me in the face.
No, I understand what you're proposing. What I'm suggesting, though, is that there is limitations to the powers of the things granting the wish. The wish itself is not like just some blank check with the universe. It's a blank check between you and the entity, perhaps, but there are real constraints, limitations to what the power of the magic can do, or the power of the practitioner using the magic can do. And that's what I'm suggesting, is there some limit. I don't know what kind of power would be required to rewrite the rule of wishes. I suspect, though, that it is probably somewhat beyond the power of a genie. Otherwise, why would a genie not simply wish to rewrite the rules in their favor, right? That's all I'm saying.
Maybe it's just so crazy they never thought of it.
I suppose that's possible. Although somewhat unlikely in the long history
Or
of
even better,
the universe.
maybe the genie that we meet is the one genie that hasn't thought of it.
Sure. Just can you do me a favor? When you decide to make a wish or whatever, if that presents itself, can you give me some warning so I can be as far away as possible?
Oh no, I'm running these wishes by everybody before they go. Like, this is not.
Great. I'll be.
I'm not cowboying this and just taking the shot.
Yep.
I'm gonna make sure this is as iron tight as it can be. I'm gonna have multiple people look this over.
Yeah. I'll take that opportunity to translocate dimensions.
Okay, but if I beat the genies, don't come back being like, how'd you do it, C-Swab? No.
No, I'm very confident you're not going to beat the genies. You might beat like one genie for like
Wow,
a century.
Some friend we got here. No faith, no faith.
No, like I think you can get away with like a modest wish, C-Swab. I truly believe you could. But
we start big, we work our way down to more manageable. I'm just trying to get a baseline of what we think is possible. You're the one with experience with fey magic. I assume it's similar, a different flavor of wishing.
Well, yes, that's what we just kind of covered. But look, like I said, I fully have every confidence that you could make do with a fairly modest wish. But I think the more you reach, the more likely you are to incur, grave consequences. No matter what you do, C-Swab, it's not an indictment of you or your capabilities or anything. But also, genie wishes aren't like a contract. That's devils. Devils like contracts. That's where the fine print is involved. I think genies are a little bit more... They're like jazz wishes. They just kind of play to their mood. And how much they hate you. Makes it a little bit more difficult.
So C-Swab's gonna hear how much they hate you and go, if he doesn't hate me, maybe he will grant me a shitty wish.
He'll still probably make you a, self-serving wish for him.
I'm not even the one who wants the wish. I'm just trying to, beat the genie.
What are we talking about? Who wants a wish? Who cares about wishes?
It's not so much that I want the wishes, I just want to beat the genie.
Wait, are we getting wishes?
Nobody's getting wish. That we know of.
No.
That if you just want to beat a genie, I feel like you could just, bludgeon them to death with a stick. That's totally an option.
I wish I had some ravioli.
But we do that to everybody already, Rain.
Right, does that not count as beating them?
Yeah, but I mean... You can only blast somebody in the face with fire and ice and everything else, and everything nice so many times before you want,
Like, you want to beat them intellectually?
Yeah.
Have you
I
tried
want to make them
chess?
feel bad and dumb.
Have you tried chess? Or maybe, like, a comedic roast?
I mean... I'm just saying, we're gonna go see genies, and they're fucking... He's gonna be all discouraged, like, he's gonna, rip his nose up, like, I guess we won't fucking try to beat the genies and wishes.
Oh, you know what we could do? If you really want to try it, we could totally slip into Razadul's dreams and make him think that he's making wishes that all bad, that blow up in his face, and then he's gonna feel real egg on his face. That could be fun.
So you'll just be all disappointed. Yes.
Great. Rain's work here is done. She's successfully discouraged Sea Swab from wanting to make wishes.
Excellent.
I didn't want to make a wish. I just wanted to beat the genie. If I discovered that it wasn't possible to beat the genie, I wouldn't make a wish either. I wanted to try and find a way to out genie the genie.
Hang on. Does this mean that Rain has outmaneuvered Sea Swab? Did Rain beat Sea Swab?
You just discouraged Sea Swab. You just made him feel bad.
Yeah, I think that counts as beating.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do to the genies, and you took that away from me.
Well, I mean, you see, you just made a fairy deal. Rain just beat you at your own game and outmaneuvered you. Rain just fed off of that as a Fae Queen. That was like a tasty little, I love that emotion. No.
Like Colin Robinson.
I just gave you a very valuable first-hand experience about how to negotiate wishes. Fae style. I hope you took notes.
Nope, all you did was just make your friend feel bad.
It's feeling bad or feeling good. It's all tasty to me. Actually, I kind of prefer feeling bad. I am, on the dark Fae side, so negative emotions and all that. Quite scrumptious. Anyway.
Quite scrumptious. Oh. Your discussions about wishes continue or not in back of the sweltering skiff, and the hours continue to pass by. The pitter-patter of sand that hits the metal outside of the skiff becomes a bit louder, as the Peck warns you that there might be a little bit of turbulence going through this particular part of the plane of Earth. Aside from the sand skiff rumbling around uncomfortably and Sea Swab's boots allowing him to forego any nausea that might occur, nothing happens. And you emerge on the other side of the raging sandstorm unharmed. The final hours begin to pass, and night does fall upon Sand Skiff, providing a bit of solace from the oppressive heat. By the time the sun comes up again, the elder Peck gestures to Wangdoodle, points him slightly more towards the northwest. There, towards the red rocks. As Wangdoodle turns the skiff towards the canyon, the walls of the canyon rise on either side of you and uncomfortably close, and Wangdoodle presses on ahead undeterred, maneuvering the skiff adeptly through the narrow canyon walls. There are twists and turns, and enough to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable as the skiff now sways from side to side in a slow, repetitive pattern. And you can no longer see the sands underfoot, just red-walled canyons rising high on either side. Moment, please.
Whoa, loading screen.
The Elder Peck assists the party in using the skiff to traverse across the arid sands of the plains of Earth. His expertise and understanding of the movement of stone on this plane allow you to carefully avoid the blinding sandstorms and the feeding grounds of massive sandworms that lie hidden under the sand. The day passes. Orion shards wired to the main fading power source, noticeably. Heat becomes unbearable, and you are now close to the borders of the plane of fire. He leads you through the red canyons until the vehicle can go no further. The rest of your travel is on foot, through a maze of confusing caves. Finally, play that one more time. The hours pass, and after a few sharp turns and dangerous descents, the walls and the floors shift from naturally rough stone to artfully hewn brick and tile. Hot air blows constant through the enclosed area. It's tinged with sharp, smoky smells of the forge. Furnaces are close. As you get to the halls of the furnaces, pile is now hewn by a artful hand, and the walls are now cobbled stone. The Peck holds up a hand, gestures for you to be. Hastily erected barricades made of wood now stand between you and this lengthy hall to furnaces. The hot air continuously passes by your faces, causing your eyes to dry and lips to chap. In front of you are numerous boxes, crates, look dusty, laden with heavy objects within. Something very, very loud stomps down the hallway, a cacophony of metal that reminds you of the gear mass that you saw in Razadul's research vault. But what shuffles in the dim light between the crates is no metal-filled jelly, but a horror made with gears, churning stomach full of sharp gears, pointed teeth. Something that looks like it could take any bit of metal, flesh, and turn it into a pulp. 6 arms wrapped with barbed wire swing from side to side as this massive, devilish thing wanders the halls, making such a din as he moves. The Peck turns around and gives you all a worried glance.
Sorry, friends, I could go no further. This is the entrance to the furnaces, and the demons draw close.
Well, thank you so much for your guidance thus far.
I wish you well, my friends. Come back alive, and with the Peck at your side.
We'll do our best.
Be safe within the furnaces, and clear out any of this demonic presence. Can no longer suffer the Tao's ire, as they can no longer access the furnaces, has made them even more cruel, have been before that it's even possible. Farewell, friends, and good luck.
He leaves the way you have came. And at least for this moment, I'll remove Wangdoodle from the map.
Yeah, fucking Wangdoodle, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Go sleep it off.
Figure out how to be a genie for me.
Wangdoodle's been driving for 12 hours. He's gonna take a little nap. The laden crates and palisades that stand between you and your goal lie covered in dust. What do you do?
What do I do about that big scary thing on the other side of those boxes? Just want to stroll up and fight him, or anybody have any other ideas?
Might not be bad to lure it over here. That way we don't have to fight too many things at once.
I cannot
To
move.
set to combat turns.
Sorry?
I cannot move.
Oh, you guys can't move?
Yeah, it says it's set to combat turns. Yeah, movement is set to combat turn. It's currently not your turn.
Strange, there's no combat. 1 second.
It was a firefight! We got a glimpse of the thing and we're all just petrified with fear.
Remove you all, just place you back. Definitely is no combat active. Are you able to move?
Nope.
Concerning. One moment. Were you all able to move on the previous screen?
I think I tried.
I don't think we tried.
Yeah, I think we just
We were
chatted.
chilling.
Oh, what's up, Wangdoodle?
Nope, movement is set to combat turn is currently not your turn.
Yeah.
I can spin around.
You spin right round, baby.
Try now?
Aha! We're free!
Sorry about that.
I don't know, right? The genie granted my wish to be able to move around freely. Seems to work out just fine.
Should work now.
That thing is terrifying, whatever the hell it is.
I don't see anything. I'm just she's always going to be walking around the wall like hunkered down.
Yeah, I can at least see so far.
The creature wanders down the halls. Back is broad, massive. Head has a black mass ending in two very large mandibles. One of its 6 arms carries a huge coiled whip. The whip squirms with a life of its own. Barbed wire is wrapped around almost the entirety of this creature, and you can even see as it gets closer as you peer around the corner that nails are sticking out of its skin, coils of wire. Various blisters and scabs arise from its flesh. Not even sure if this thing was once human. But even its eyelids, as its eyes are permanently open wide, the eyelids themselves have been pulled back, stapled with sharp wire.
Oh, actually, here, before we go crazy in here, since we just arrived, Rain will actually just call it now so we don't have to have this question 1,000 times later. We'll prep telepathic bond on everyone.
Okay.
Including Wangdoodle. We'll do it back at the ship so Wangdoodle's included before we leave.
Yep.
Ta-da! Okay, now we can all talk to each other. Does anybody want to go out there invisible and see if it can see things? See what's on the other side of these boxes, maybe?
Seaswap's gonna be still up on his feelings back. Well, why don't you? I don't make deals with Fae.
Well, I mean, I could. That's fine. I was more asking, is that a thing I would want to do? Because historically, when I try to actually like cast invisibility so we can be stealthy, it just doesn't go very well, and it ends up being a waste of spells. So
Not for the demons, right? Or devils. I think we should just lure it over here and try to take care of it so we don't alert everything else.
that's fine too. I'm not sure it'll fit through those boxes, that barricade, unless it smashes through everything, so it might be pretty loud regardless. But I guess it's also just really loud by itself, so...
As it gets closer to your position, indeed, the barbed wire rubbing together and the sound of screeching nails can be heard as it tromps across the stone floor.
So lure it, it's like right on the other side of those boxes now.
Hey, so look out.
I'm cool with that. We gotta act there before it walks away.
See, Swab, you make the fancy face noises.
Sorry, what was the plan we decided on?
We were just gonna lure it.
Lure it?
Yes.
All right, let's lure
That
it.
way we don't end up fighting a bunch of things at once. Oh god, I closed Forge by accident.
I would like to
Wait,
hunker
say
down
that?
behind these. I like to hunker down behind these boxes, so like if it comes through this way, I'll be able to surprise attack it.
It seems
Yes.
to be walking away from you. As it
We just
tromps
need
up and
it
down
to-
the hallway.
Come this way so we could do all of that.
Let's see. What do I have? Sea Swab will cast. Sea Swab's gonna cast Create Bonfire. And
Okay.
I'm gonna cast it like right here. Like right here, so like the little guy can see it. It's not gonna do any damage to anybody, so just. But I want to be able to like just see like this fire appear.
Okay. See, Swab in the
I wasted such a good roll.
the center part of the boxes, the creature is currently walking away. You create a roaring bonfire. The heat
That's
adds to the already sweltering hot air in the room.
What's this, -10?
It shouldn't be anything. I don't know.
Sorry,
Maybe
what?
the bonfire probably might have barely been touching you, but it shouldn't have touched you at all. It shouldn't be touching your model at all.
Yeah, it says apply at the bottom, -10 for me.
No,
So.
it shouldn't.
Weird.
I also have it. Like I can also click apply, so I don't know what it is. It's some
Oh, no,
automation.
you don't want to apply. That'll just apply the damage to you. So don't apply any damage to yourselves.
But what if I want to?
I mean, go ahead and jump in the fire. I'm gonna stop. But do not be surprised when fire hurts.
Hmm.
It's on the far end of the hall right now.
Yeah, I was thinking a noise or something.
AC swab.
Hi, Rain.
There's not really a way to get past the bonfire, is there? Without
I
going
no.
through it.
cancel it, right?
You can cancel it
I guess
at
I can
any
do
time.
diagonal.
Yeah, cancel it.
You just right-click your concentration buff and go away.
You want to get the drop on it then, C-Swab?
Do I want to get the drop on it? Not particularly. It's going to bash my face in.
Oh, well, you could go back behind that barricade then, I suppose.
I will.
Okay.
I
Seems
just
fine.
wanted some sea swab, like, make some crazy noises that attract it to come this way. That's what I asked for.
Did you want me
Yeah,
to
Rain
call
is
at it?
going.
You could have done a yell.
Rain is going to cast minor illusion.
Okay.
So, I can
we're
yell,
gonna
but
do-
I thought some sort of fun noise from sea swab would be more entertaining.
Rain makes a little peck that looks like it's running away.
Oh, that's a good idea. One moment.
Like trying to run through the barricades.
Create the illusion of a peck. What do you want it to do?
It is going to run through the barricades, like this way.
The devil sees the illusion of the peck. Peck looks at the automata devil. Skirt. Quickly
Skirt.
moves through the barricade of crates. Peck is alerted. You hear its noisy, jangling exterior coming closer. Churn. I think it's saying churn. A low and mechanical voice. It gets closer to the boxes. And raising 2 of its 6 arms, begins to take one by one these heavy crates, throw them down the hall.
No, not the loot.
It explodes, the wood splintering everywhere. The first crate reveals a bounty of unforged ore inside. The rocks go everywhere and make quite the din as they tinkle across the stone floor. The Automata Devil does not waste any time. Picks up another crate and hurls it down the hall behind him.
Rain is gonna activate Blade Slug while he's throwing boxes around. I don't think this is gonna be one of those friendly type encounters.
Quickly and quietly. Evade Blade Song. Another crate goes throwing down the hall. Crash! Or goes
Okay,
spilling
wait
out.
Why is the peck hiding by me? I didn't tell him to hide behind me. Run down the hallway, you shithead. That way. Run that way.
When there is enough room for the Automata Devil to get through, begins chasing the peck.
Hit him. Ambush.
All right. The Automata Devil does not notice Grabella and Rain. Begins moving down the hall.
I do surprise attack.
All right. One moment, please.
I want to be the master of surprise.
It was a good distraction. Now, the Automata Devil is surprised to see Rain and Grabella jump on it as it wiggles its way through the heavy crates. Sea Swab appears from behind the palisade, and Coslow, hidden in the shadows on the southern wall. I'm gonna need you all to roll initiative, please. for the surprise round.
Surprise, motherfucker.
No, I refuse.
Surprise, motherfucker. All rise, motherfucker.
Hard eyes, motherfucker.
Disguise, motherfucker.
Supplies, motherfucker.
Christina sure was though. Like, I'm just gonna make this peck run like right behind Rain, so he just smashes Rain's face. Like, she was just gonna let that happen. Like, that's the thing that I said to do.
Sea Swab, the Automata Devil has its never blinking eyes set on the peck, or the illusion of the peck. And it is even more surprised to see you dash out from behind the palisade. You're up. What do you do?
Surprise, motherfucker. We will first, as always, insight check. Oh.
Ooh, what would you like to know?
Is it vulnerable to frost damage?
Vulnerable, you said?
Yeah.
It is not.
All right. I'm gonna
Reminder that vulnerable means takes extra damage in D&D
Yeah.
context.
Yeah.
Just in case you were asking if it can be damaged by frost at all.
I like to know what I can hit really hard at it at, so I can make my spells that.
Yeah.
So you know, ruin the DM's plans.
What are you up to, Sea Swab?
I'm gonna just chuck a chromatic orb at it. Level. I'm gonna up gauge it one though.
$22 will hit.
I'm gonna hit cold damage.
All right. The orb flies across the hallway and hits the Automata Devil straight in the chest. The chest cavity actually visibly opens up, and inside its stomach is an endlessly churning pile of gears and spikes. Looks like anything that would fly into its stomach would instantly get turned into a messy pulp. But the cold hits the stomach, and you can hear the metal within grind and creak as the cold takes effect. Takes full damage from the chromatic orb.
Boom! Headshot.
The gears inside its stomach continue to churn.
And then I'm gonna do. So I find it here. I'm gonna do. Twin spell, and I'm gonna hit it again.
Alright, let's see it.
Did not roll.
An 18 will hit. Alright, one after the other, two chromatic orbs slam it into the stomach, forcing the gears inside to slow their incessant churning, but only briefly, as they break through the frost with a very loud crack. The gears continue to churn unabated. Sea Swab, does that end your round?
Like, I need this little devil to cool off.
Cool off.
That'll end the Sea Swab's turn.
Very good. Rebella, at the start of your turn, as you are extremely close to this Automata Devil, It has an aura of fear. Its presence is frightening and unnatural. Something you've never quite seen before. It's enough to shake the will of even the most hardy of warriors. Rebella,
Mhm.
make me a wisdom save.
Nope.
Rebella, you fail. You start your turn within 10 feet of the Automata Devil. Must make a successful DC 6 wisdom save or become frightened. Rebella, you are now considered to be frightened. 1 second. Give you the frightened ability.
She's actually within 30 feet of Rain, so she would actually get to make it with advantage.
Technically. Rebella, roll again.
Might not help, but
Narp.
Even Rain's, what is that ability that allows you to give them the fear bonus?
it's Lucaris' scale.
Oh yeah.
The one that makes me immune also gives anybody within 30 feet advantage against charm and fear.
Good. Alright, Grabella, you are considered frightened. You cannot move any closer to the source of your fear, and attacks against it will have disadvantage. Disadvantage on this attack?
Okay. Hold on.
Woo! Okay. Grabella, you still hit.
And I'm going to add my radiant damage. Let me just grab the copy pasta unless that got fixed.
It did get fixed. So you can just click it and it should give you a prompt to do the dam.
There we go.
Alright. Very good. Grabella, your first swing hits solidly with the Automata Devil, but your flail threatens to get caught in the churning stomach of the devil. You pull it out quickly enough, but its fear aura has you terrified, taking in boots. Let me add the extra 2, the Divine Fury.
Does the divine do extra considering what it is?
You will have to do an insight check.
I don't do all of those. So, I am gonna bonus action range. And then stay where I'm at. That was in my turn.
You not get a second attack?
Yeah, you have a second attack?
I thought that needed to be a different round than I rage, but if not, I will
Attack is an action, and rage is a bonus action.
You get 2 attacks with just
Yeah,
your
you
regular
normally have 2
attack.
attacks, so.
I was told previously I needed to be raging, so
Not for your multiple attacks. 15 will miss, though.
yep.
Right? Does that end your round, Grabella?
Yeah.
Rain, you're up. You are affected by Blade Song.
I guess I'll lead with an insight. Nope.
Nope.
Never lucky. We are flanking this guy, right? So, super elf advantage.
You are.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Rain, you also need to make me a... Oh, are you immune to being frightened?
I am.
Okay. I will not force you to make the save.
Oh, I guess midi attack? That seems
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do add advantage. Yes.
Oof! That'll hit! That's a
Is that
crit!
20?
That's a crit!
Yes, that all looks right. I don't know. Find out. Stab.
Alright. Rain, you are not affected by the fear aura that the Automata Devil is putting off, and Grabella gets a good swing in, causing it to turn its back to you. You take the advantage, and you drive your rapier deep into the, well, what you can consider to be fleshy bits in between all the barbed wire and the nails sticking out of this horrendous thing. Screeches in pain, and Grabella gets a good wide-eyed view of the churning massive gears that is its internal organs.
Let's do it again.
Let's do
we
it
will
again.
add Booming Blade this time. Did that. There we go.
That'll hit. No crit.
And this will be plus 2d8 thunder. And he's boomed.
And he is boomed. If he moves, he will start to take some damage. Stabbing very thoroughly into the back, Grabella on the other side of the devil. You can see the pointy end of the rapier sticking out from the other side. Although you've managed to crush the chest cavity a little bit, Rain has managed to pierce it quite thoroughly. And the gears that are churning in its stomach slowly begin to sputter, spit out some caustic-looking oil. Rain, does that end your round?
Well, bonus action Mind Sliver, and that'll be it.
It'll make a save with advantage. And it fails! The DC 20 with a 16. Takes another 11 psychic damage from the Mind Sliver. You do figure out that it has magic resistance.
Yeah, ain't nothing special.
The Automata Devil is surprised and does not have an action this round. Oslo, you're up.
Well, Kozlo will begin by summoning their turret, which is his action for the round.
Turret Chan, arise.
There we go. And turret will force Ballista at it.
And it will miss.
Alright.
It hits one of the crates behind Grabella, and a few chunks of iron ore spill out. Oslo, what would you like to know?
Is this guy immune to fire? Just to confirm.
Sure is.
Okay.
Sure is, buddy.
Alright, that'll end my round.
All right.
Actually,
Oh.
Kozlo will step back a little bit, and then that will end my round.
Round 2, the Automata Devil is no longer surprised. Sea Swab, you're up.
Alrighty. Insight,
What would you like to know?
HP.
One moment. The sputtering gears and the black ichor leaking out of it leads you to believe that this devil is on its last legs.
Alrighty, we are going to. I want to make sure I kill it, but he's resistant to magic.
He is.
Just a little bit harder.
Now, he does not get that bonus on things like chromatic orb.
I noticed that. Yeah. All right, we'll check another orb at it.
The orb sails through the air. It hits.
Keep it cold.
Keep it cold. You shoot it once
Stay
again
frosty,
into
my
the
friends.
stomach. It grinds, and the ichor freezes just for a moment before it hits the ground and shatters like an ice cube. The devil still stands.
And then I'm gonna twin spell it again.
Meta magic! Ooh, just hit its AC. That'll hit. Exactly.
Oh my god, these ones are terrible. See, so I'm just gonna have like two just orbs constantly in his hand, just start chucking them at him.
Pow! Pow! One after the other. Finally, after the first one hits and freezes the gears, you send the other one in a quick succession. And from the inside and up, it begins to freeze completely. Its insectoid-looking body begins to twitch as all of the gears inside its stomach halt. There's a terrible grinding noise as finally the gears split from their spinning point and begin to whir inside of his entire body. He folds in half, and folds in half again as the gears churn him from the inside out. And all that's left after the gears are done spinning, a bloody pile of metal and offal on the floor. The encounter with the Automata Devil is over. Rebella, you are no longer frightened, as all you see now is just some pulp left upon the floor.
Alright, email it. Kazla look through all this crap and looks like there's a door up on the left and the hallway goes around a bit.
I would like to see if I see any visible booby traps along this hallway.
Make me an investigation check, please. You look down the hallway, you see the sharpened palisades could be kicked over and prevent people from climbing over it, but other than that and the assorted ore on the floor that the devil had just recently thrown from the crates, you see nothing amiss. The crates are splintered, spilling out their contents of unhewn iron ore upon the ground.
Does any of this ore look valuable in any way?
Make me a perception check.
Looks like metal to me.
Looks like a big pile of rocks, Grabella. Rain, this iron ore mined from the purest veins of the plane of Earth is valuable, but only after it's smelted. Of course, in the furnaces it infuses it with elemental energy. And that's what truly makes it unique. TLDR, it is valuable. It's also extremely heavy, but it's only really useful after it's smelted.
But when we find already smelted ore down here, it might be valuable to us.
Mhm.
Cool. Good to know. Elementally infused iron's got to be good for something. Or steel or whatever. I don't know. However metal works. Metal, how does it work?
Iron or steel is an alloy.
Is this wall to the left? Like, is this a hallway that keeps going and the palisades are just kind of blocking it? Or
It does not. It looks like there's been a cave in here. The palisades are, well, just propped up to keep the rocks from tumbling into the hallway.
Gotcha. I will investigate this door, looking for. Is it locked? Is the mechanism? Is there a locking mechanism? I guess. And are there any? Like, I would be looking for magical wards as well as mechanical traps.
Sure, make me an investigation check first. In front of you are steel bars that you can see through, and on the other side is a pair of, there are 3 doors on the other side, but they all look like they're connected together. Three very big doors that you can either open singularly or as one big door. But the iron bars in front of you are barring your passage to access them.
I don't even know how this. What's a door?
What's a door? You investigate the iron bars. There is a very obvious keyhole for these iron bars, but you do not see a key.
I'm gonna look in this box. Maybe there's a key in it.
Did we check the dead body?
Oslo, you do not find a key as you open up the crate with a crowbar, Mr. Artificer. Rain is pickpocketing the corpse.
I found its whip, its bite, and its claw.
You
I told the
cannot have
artificer to
those.
look it over because I figured there would be bits and bombs that he might want to pick us up.
Is there a key in all... Rain's just, like, playing in the fucking gore right now.
Rain, you sift through the disgusting gores.
Making gore angels.
Ew.
Blech.
Bloodied
Okay.
nails. Bits of
Okay,
what
Art.
might have been a chainsaw at one point.
That's a chainsaw.
Yeah, you're not sure. It looks like a saw, but it's connected to a chain. Weird.
Wild.
But with that check, you search through the gore, you pull up something that catches your eye. It looks initially like a long nail. As you clean the gore off of it, find a key.
I don't even know what that check is. It just happened when I just double-clicked it. Oh, it was a pickpocket check. Oh, okay.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, I found the key.
Pocket sand.
Well, I found a key. Also, wait a minute. Where's... Simulacrum, come along. We brought you down here. It's time you actually, like, do something.
Where is the simulacrum?
She's been with me the whole time. I just hate dealing with, like, dragging her along. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's go. Does this look right? Rain tries the key. How is it out of reach? No matching key.
Can
Nope,
you,
not it.
Can you hover over it and hit K?
That's what I did.
Rick,
Yeah, it says no matching key.
modules. Watch. I swear I tested this. The key fits cleanly into the lock.
Okay, the key didn't fit really. The key didn't fit in here, but the voice in the sky said it fit, so I think that means we win.
Yeah, you just gotta jiggle a little bit.
Ta-da!
there are 3 doors behind you, or excuse me, in front of you. They're heavy and wooden. And in the middle one is a very large keyhole.
Does it look approximately the same keyhole?
It does.
Aha, use key. There we go. That popped up. That one did.
I might have fucked up the previous door.
Where are the keys? There it is, furnace key. All right, ready to see what's on the other side of this door. That's not a third door.
Rain, as you open the door, there are 2 large ballistas pointing directly at you. However, what's more interesting is the cadre of dust mephits that are all flying around and chattering to each other in noisy, demonic speak. As the door swings open and you glance from the ballistas to the mephit, they look just as surprised to see you as you are to see them.
Man the ballistas!
They
Oh no, you're all
scream in
free. We just
unison.
rescued you. You all can leave now.
They begin.
Oh, no.
They begin to move, positioning themselves behind each ballista.
Wait a minute.
Aim, shoot, fire. Aim, shoot, fire. You halt! Stop right there.
Not moving over the bond, cause a fireball in this room would not go amiss.
Who
Kozlo just cackles relentlessly back over the bond.
who are you? Speak before we fill you full of holes. Yes.
Seastorm's just gonna be hearing this, but not seeing them. He goes, "Oh my god, is it the stupid like Vanix Mephits again? Is that disaster and lost it? Oh my god."
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Sorry, do you all know, we met some other lovely Mephits. Do you all know, the Fear Mephits, disaster it, lost it, death it? Have you guys met them? Are they like cousins?
Make me a persuasion check.
Do I get it with advantage because C-Swab was assisting?
Sure. Well,
Oh, that's right, because I actually have persuasion as my astral elf check for proficiency.
What? How do you know these names? Speak.
Oh, well, we met them in the ice library some time ago. We actually freed them from their servitude to Vanix, and they're all about causing whatever fear and mayhem they want. Could be you guys.
Yeah, could
There's
you
a
guys
wide-
want to go hang out with them?
There's a
Start a
wide plain of
Mephit
earth out there.
empire.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the elf speaks the truth? She knows the names. The dreaming ones. Yes, only Mephits should know this. Yes, curious. You claim you have freed them, yes?
Yes. I mean, we destroyed Vanix, so they are free. We didn't destroy them. We let them go. They were quite helpful, actually.
Fallet, I think was one of them. He's kind of dumb.
Can I, while I'm sort of hiding in the back here, can I ready an action?
Are we blue balls in Kozlo right now? I'm
Little
sorry,
bit,
buddy.
A little bit.
Did I ruin this? You said fireball, and I was like, wait a second, we may know these guys.
Kozlo will definitely have the fireball ready in case any of them look like they're about to fire the ballista.
We also made friends with the fire Mephits that we found that one time on the... Are we just invited to the cookout,
We
guys?
actually just know like a lot of Mephits. Who was the one that made the maze that was so
There's a term
awful?
rebella for a lot of Mephits. We coined it.
Yeah, I hate that word. I'm not saying.
These
There's
guys are
some-
kind of surrounded by wood. Are they barrel aged?
Boo.
The
Boo
fact
this
that that's
man.
actually a thing is just the worst part of all.
You have bought yourself enough time to explain yourself. How do you know the names of the dreaming ones?
I just explained this. We met them in the ice library where they were noodling around brain.
And we completed all of their dumb tasks. They were really bad.
Especially
they
the
were-
maze.
Well, yes. I would say that all of them are doing much better now, except maybe Lost It. He was,
broke
you
that
know,
man.
he's kind of dumb. I'm sure you all understand, but all of his siblings did. And then, yes, we destroyed Vanek, so they were no longer bound to the Lord of Night. Which I'm sure you were all aware of, because I'm sure his soul came screeching back to hell or whatever. And now they're free to wander the dreaming. Or whatever they get up to, I suppose. I didn't really ask.
The Mephits give each other very concerned looks.
Group huddle. Oh, I thought you said Grabella. I was really
I thought they were saying
confused.
Grabella like wrong as well.
While they're group huddling, Rain's just gonna walk up and just sit on these barrels just next to the ballista, like right here. So like no longer in like line of sight of the ballista.
They do not seem to care that you come into the room.
They know the names of the dreaming ones. Yes. Would they possibly be telling the truth? I could show you the gift that I got from the dragon, but then I'd fill this entire room.
Oh, what is the gift?
Oh, I could become a dragon. Ah! But I didn't squash all of you, and we're trying not to kill you right now. I'd like to skip that part and just be friends and let you go on your way.
Do we still have any of the objects that we got, like the proof of the trial proof things?
I had a bunch, but I think they got deleted or let go of.
They do not exist here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the monocle from Vanix, did I not?
No, you got that from the curator.
Oh, the curator. Mantle of the Soul Collector.
Actually, I suppose Ray does know exactly where one Mephit currently is. Currently trapped in the Fey maze.
Yeah. The perceived leader of the Dust Mephits flaps forward.
And you. Tell me the names of the dreaming Mephits. And I will let you pass.
Well, there was Lost
Do
It.
you want to sing it like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
I was thinking more like the Animaniacs.
No, there was Lost It, there was Disaster It, there was Death It, there was help me guys.
Disaster, Lost
Fall
It,
All it, yeah.
Dark It was one, right?
Dark It, Fall It. Fall It sounds like it was one.
I think I said Fall It.
Okay.
I have said 5.
God, there was so
Mourn It.
many.
Mourn It
Yeah.
was one. Yep.
I hated
Who
that.
was the angry one? I think that's the one I'm missing.
Well, I think Lost It was the bad one, right?
Yes,
That
yes,
was-
yes. But there was the angry one who just wanted to like murder everything, but he wasn't murder it. He was something else.
Murder it.
All right. There was 8, right? There was 8. So we have Death It,
Huh?
Disaster It, Fall It, Lost It, Mourn It. That's 5. Wasn't there one that was also like Death It, but it wasn't Death?
It was Mourn It.
Death and Mourning. You have these. Death It, Disaster It, Mourn It. You said Lost It.
Fall It, Dark It.
Fall It, Dark It.
That's 6.
There was one that was the angry one.
They're all pretty angry.
No, it was the angry one who just wanted to fight everything. Was he actually just fight it? He was the one we all liked, but it took us so long to get to his thing that I think he was just grumpy.
Let's not fight it.
Trap it? Did we say trap
Oh,
it?
Yes,
trap
correct,
it.
Trap
Trap
it.
it.
Trap it, yeah, Trap It's our 7. It's just the angry one. What is the angry one's name?
Listen, isn't 7 out of 8 good enough? Like, listen, there's so many of you guys.
Make me a persuasion check.
Did we say lost it?
We did.
Good.
She put them all there on the right.
Yeah, they're on the chat.
Oh, they're in the chat. Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna get it.
Violet! It was Violet. That's it.
That's it. There we go.
Turning violet,
Because
Violet.
he sounded like violence or something.
Yes.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, that was it. They know the names. They know the faces. We let them pass. Ask them what they're doing here. I'm curious.
And there was bop it and twist it and pull it,
Slap it.
spank it, tickle it,
Drop it. Bite it.
step on it.
You are offered a modicum of respect as you know the names of the sleeping ones. But tell me, what are you doing here? This is no place for mortals.
Right. Well, would you believe me if I told you we were here to liberate the furnace?
And what do you gain from this power? Do you wish to have control over the furnaces?
Well, not especially, I suppose, but we don't necessarily want, you know, the devils downstairs to have control of it either.
If you guys wanted to stay and, like, do stuff,
Actually, that's true. If we were to take it over, we would need people to, well, to run things, to maintain things. You could stay on as hired staff if you'd like. You would get to make up all of the production chores every day. I'm sure you guys get worse jobs around here. All the devils just treating you like, you know, small dirt.
Oh, then this is the term. Once you have liberated the furnaces from all of the devil presence, we want to be placed in the dustiest spot in the furnaces. The billows.
Oh, I mean, I suppose that could be arranged. But I
Yes.
don't make deals with anybody whose names I do not know.
Yeah,
I'm Queen
let's see if
Rain,
we can
Silver
try
Song
to
of Maginox.
Yeah, I am dusted. I'm dirty it. I'm soiled. I'm grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm earthed.
Mm-hmm.
And my name is Peter.
No, pound it, really? It's right there.
It's a good name too. Also starts with P.
Yeah. I just thought
Pound
it'd be cool. It's up to you, though. You know.
Shut up, Peter.
Discord is for that last one there.
Yep. I don't know. What do you all think? Does seem like a fair bargain?
Yeah.
Works for me. We're gonna need people working a place anyway.
We love
All
the
right.
billows, full of air and dirt and dryness.
Very well. Your terms are acceptable. Rain holds out her hand to Was this dirt it?
Is dusted. The guy
This
in
is
front.
Somebody
Dusted.
write all of this shit down just in case we need to know again.
It was dust it,
Everybody's gonna remember.
dirt
Peter.
it, ground it,
Ground it, earth it, soil it, and Peter.
earth it.
Peter, now pound it.
Now pound
Because
it.
I think that's funnier.
Shut up, Peter. It's a cool name. What do you mean? But it's like salt, Peter. Oh, okay. Why did you just say that then? Cause
Why not salted?
they call me Peter it. That's dirty. I don't like that. Found it at least. Doesn't sound dirty right away.
No, that sounds dirty right away.
It just sounds dirty up front. I guess all their names are dirty, but that's like the point. He cannot have the dirtiest name of all of us. I am dusted. I'm clearly the dirtiest.
It's literally dirt it though. I'm confused.
Yeah, and we met one the other day named Smut It.
Oh. Must have been a
It's
nice,
very-
upstanding fellow.
Very different elemental type, I believe. All right, well, your terms are acceptable. Rain will shake Dusted's hand.
Dust goes flying everywhere. He seems pleased with this proposal.
Then tell no one you have passed by Dust Mephit Brigade.
Of course not.
The old DMB.
Any hints about what's next? You have all been strangely too kind. It is refreshing. There are a host of Peck that are in the southeastern corridor, enslaved by the Tao. Yes, but do we tell about the demon? There's more than one demon. This place is swarming with devils from the nine hells, seeking to enrich themselves and mint their own soul coins.
Oh. Is there one devil in particular who's in charge here?
They give each other uneasy glances.
The northern part of the furnaces has been taken over by the demons, but only one seems to care about the northern parts. It is an Arenyes, and she is located to the very most eastern chamber, where she receives the occasional Tao visitor.
Does she have a name?
Shakes her head.
She is only referred to as the Mistress.
That's probably good enough.
But be warned, there are dark things occurring in the part of the furnaces that have been overrun by the demons. The southern
Gross!
parts, past the bridge. Steel yourselves, for it is swarming with taint.
Gross!
Exactly.
Right.
Wait, there isn't what you call tainted, is there?
No, unfortunately not. What about you,
What do you
Peter?
mean,
Do you want to be
unfortunately?
tainted? No, I'm salt, Peter.
Oh, that's actually kind of clever, Peter.
Thank you. No one appreciates my genius. Going into
All
the
right.
southern corridors is death.
But like, why though?
Demons, and many of them. They have
Sure, but I
spread
mean,
their corruption thickly. The ground itself boils over like a pustulant, rotting corpse.
Oh, gross.
Indeed.
Well, so that's the south door then, you said?
Past the bridge. Do not go
And then-
past the bridge unless you seek certain death.
Well, we're gonna have to kill all of the demons, right? Like, that's gonna be a thing that we have to do eventually.
Brave. Brave but foolish.
Well, I mean, if you want control of the bellows, we have to get rid of all the devils, right?
Remember that part where I said I could turn into a dragon?
It's true, she can turn into a dragon.
And I am helpful.
He was gonna fireball all of you at once.
How is he gonna do that? Don't tell him that, Jesus.
What?
Look, you guys were nice, so we're not gonna do that now. It's fine.
We've made a bargain.
Yes. And for some reason, I believe you to be possibly stronger than the demons that inhabit the southern part of the furnaces. You've swayed me, and my fellow Mephit. Fine.
So if we... Oh, go ahead.
Go! Be off with you, and speak nothing of our discussion.
Do you guys
Oh,
have
of
a map of
course
this
not.
place?
They shake their head.
No, any paper in our presence tends to crumble to dust, most appealingly.
Can you point us in the right direction?
He points to this door.
That's to the eastern side, where you said the mistress is and the peck.
Yes.
And
The
then
peck,
south is lots of devils.
Yes.
Well. So if we were to hypothetically kill the mistress and then go south and show all the devils her head, would they flee before?
I do not know. Most assuredly, it may enrage them. Perhaps even increase their fervor.
Interesting. Well. So perhaps we start to the south then and deal with all the devils behind us, and then there's nothing left for it but the mistress.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are small, but polite.
So we're going to go through the south door?
Sounds like it.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? We can do whatever. I'm just...
Oh, do you guys
saying
have
things.
keys?
No,
Does it need key?
unfortunately, do not.
How did you get here?
Our mistress keeps us here. We are just
Yes.
as locked inside as you are. Yes, only
So
certain
is your-
high-ranking devils carry the keys to the furnaces.
Is your mistress the mistress?
She is the mistress, at least the one that manages the northern corridors. She speaks with the corrupted Tao, the ones that covet greed above even their own clans, and work with the devils to meet their dark ends.
Right. Well, turns out we killed a very high-ranking devil because we have his key.
Ah, well, goody. I do not want anything to seem amiss. Forgive us if we remain in our dusty room.
Oh no, of course not. Look, the bargain you made is all upside for you.
Yes?
If we all die horribly, no harm, no foul. You all continue doing your thing.
Indeed.
If we don't die horribly, you get the bellows.
Yes, a win-win situation. I see no reason to double-cross or to lie to you. And if you are as foolish as you say and wish to go into the southern parts of the furnaces, then I only can wish you the best.
It's very intriguing to me that you think the southern part is more dangerous than where the mistress is.
The mistress is merely an emissary, a stopgap to prevent the Tao from accessing the southern parts of the furnaces.
Oh, an emissary for whom? Somebody not here, I imagine.
They glance at each other nervously, and each of them begin to like wring their hands and turn. Some of them, their wings even begin to quiver. They all seem very hesitant to say who is leading the southern part of the furnaces.
It's all right. We won't tell anybody anything. There's nothing in it for us to rat you out. Your secrets are safe with us.
High-ranking Spader in the southern part of the furnaces hold an ominous. Not just him. No, the accomplice, always whispering here. See him occasionally traversing the northern corridor to speak with Mistress. It, the Black Abishai, servant.
Oh. One of those shits. Does he have a name?
He did, we would not speak it, lest to gain his eye upon us. But no, we do not know the name of the Abishai. Only have seen, smelled, felt his presence. Is truly the most foul thing here in the furnaces.
That does make some sense. We've had some... Well, I suppose I've had some dealings with an Abishai in the past. It did not go very well for him. It could have gone better for me, though.
They continue looking at each other nervously.
Have survived the presence of one Abishai.
They do not finish the sentence.
Don't worry, we'll destroy him and send his soul screeching back to Tiamat. Alright then, so... horrible things in the southern corridor it is. Grabella, Colsto, Seaswab.
Yeah.
Duty calls.
If I open this door, there's not going to be like a room full of demons behind there. The list is aimed at me, are there?
No, merely a hallway.
Great, love it. What about traps? Any like major traps we should be aware of? Or just horrifying devils?
Well, just us. Easily swayed Mephits.
Oh, come on, you drove a very hard bargain. Don't sell yourself short.
This is mostly the receiving area. It is intended to be relatively clear of any mishaps, just due to the darker Tao that wish to bargain with the demons. But as for the southern region, I cannot promise the same.
I see. Well... to certain death. For someone, at least.
Hooray!
You think they'll do it? You think they'll kill the Abishai? See the look in her eye when she said that. I believe her. Force of will alone. Unsure, but hopeful. I as well.
I noticed nobody else came through the door with me. Thank you, C-Swab.
Yeah, my computer.
Oh, rip.
Oh, look, there's the other door right there. Okay, so east is to the Mistress, I suppose, and then south is all the horrifying old demon thing. Oh, that's a long hallway. Alright, that's probably where we need to go then.
The dust mephit closes the door behind Grabella.
There are a couple doors here. We want to check these out as we go. Clear everything.
Might as well, we gotta wipe everything out anyway.
Alright. Well, the first one's right here. Rain will put her ear to this door and see if she can hear anything on the other side.
Make me a perception check.
Woof.
You don't hear anything.
Check for traps.
Make me an investigation check.
Woof.
The door is locked. You do not know if it is trapped.
Who
Alright.
locks all the rooms in a building like this? This has never happened before.
Y'all ready? Could be anything over here. Although I suppose he did say the Peck were to the southeast, so this could be them. Oh, hang on, I have to look for the key again. Don't know if that worked. Here goes nothing. Don't let me die. Oh, nope, it's still locked. Haha.
Aha!
Or is it?
Or is it?
As you open the door, the heads of two sleeping stone masters can be seen underneath very sparse accommodations. They look a little bit less jagged than the elder Peck, who've been pockmarked with the sands of time. But these stone masters, their hands, they look short and stubby, like the stone has been worn down unnaturally so. One of them turns to look at you as you open the door, and he gasps, pressing himself against the back wall in fear.
Rain pushes her finger to her mouth. Shh, quiet. We're here to rescue you.
With that, that is where we will end the session for tonight. As you find the first of the Peck, and many more to be saved. The strange leaders in the northern part of the furnaces, making who is slamming? Making deals with corrupt Tao, while there are untold horrors south. The rest of the furnaces will have to be discovered next week. And we'll have Wangdoodle back. Hooray!
Yay!
Hooray!
And we should
More
have
artillery.
We should have told the Mephits to send Wangdoodle through when he came in.
You, small blue one, name 8 Mephits now.
On second thought, I'm happy with this outcome.
Well, that is it for the furnaces for today, as we learn that there are terrible, terrible things ahead. Thank you guys for playing. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see everybody and all your lovely faces back next week. Sound good?
Right.
Yep.
Have we ever not negotiated with Mephits? I feel like
It seems
I'm
like
trying
we
to
always
think.
do.
I feel like we've always managed to negotiate with them because there was the fire ones that we negotiated with Shiny.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've negotiated with Magma Mephits, the Dream Mephits, Dust Mephits. I believe in the very early parts of Arctis, there were also Steam Mephits in the Geothermic Rift.
Yes, there
So
were.
We've had so many flavors of Mephits.
Do we just have like a little Mephit fan club growing?
Yes. It's
your
the next pantheon.
your
We will-
reputation with the Mephits is now at revered.
Amazing.
And you all keep being nice to them. It's not like
To be fair,
Kill on sight.
I was the one who opened my mouth and was like, well, hold on, do they know the other Mephits that we just were
It's
with?
true. It's true. This is all
Because-
C-Swab.
Because somebody was ready to chuck a fireball. Well, somebody wants to ruin my bargaining, I'll ruin their bargaining.
They were all going
I-
to be immune to fire anyways. It doesn't
actually,
really
they're
matter.
all vulnerable to fire. So
Oh.
That was the one room that Kozlo got to cut loose on in this entire dungeon. Everything else, fire immunity. Sorry, buddy.
that would have been a
Yeah.
guaranteed one shot of all the Mephits, but the Mephits would have not liked it anymore.
Why would they have not?
Why?
liked
They
us?
wouldn't have been around to tell anybody that they didn't like us.
It's true.
Wow. Wow.
Seems
No one
Wow.
lives to tell the tale. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Dead
Yeah.
men tell no tales.
Dead.
I think the magma Mephits were also a C-Swab special. I think C-Swab also negotiated with them.
C-Swab just has a thing for Mephits, apparently.
You know what? In this house, we love Mephits.
Do we?
Why can't every dungeon be full of Mephits?
Just a bunch of... Just oops, all Mephits, the dungeon.
Just an entire malort.
And on that note,
Mephits.
good night.
Good night. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for playing. I will see you all next week.
Nice job.
Bye.
Night, everybody. And hello, chat. Hi. Well, thanks for watching today as we all work through the furnaces. Whoa. Thanks for watching. If you want to catch up on our sessions, take a look at our YouTube. Arctis DD, full sessions, 3 hours. Just put them on in the background. Get used to some of the lore, hang out with us, and support a small streamer. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's in chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Watch our shorts and our funny moments over on Play Arctis on Twitter and TikTok and Blue Sky. Otherwise, I'm your DM's Arena. Hey, thanks for watching. Spencer, have a good night, etc. Thanks for the resub. Lebu, hey, Chody. Hope you're having a good trip, and hope we will see you back next week. In the meantime, hope everybody enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for watching. And I will see you all next time.